We will now turn our attention to the second discipline, and that is show jumping, sponsored by XL Equine. Off-the-track thoroughbreds have a rich tradition of excelling in show jumping. Former racehorses have thrived at all levels in the jumper arena, from lesson horses to Olympic and Grand Prix champions. The Thoroughbred Makeover shows how quickly some OTTBs can pick up the intricacies of navigating a course and soaring over the jumps. Show jumping is one of the disciplines with the largest field at the Thoroughbred Makeover. Riders choose the height at which to jump their OTTB, 2 feet 6, 3 feet, or 3 feet 3. When they first enter the arena, horse and rider showcase a strong foundation through a flat work pattern. Judging is based on rhythm, adjustability of stride, and acceptance of rider's aids. Then they will do 2 jumper rounds, the second of which simulates a jump off. Judging is based on rhythm, straightness, confidence, correct jumping form, and acceptance of rider's aids at each jump. Points are deducted for jumping or time faults. So the goal is to jump clean and also show the potential to rise up the show jumping ranks. First to go at the 3'3" height is Kendall Lahari aboard Remember Gizmo, and they come in 5th place into the show jumping finals. Chestnut Gelding, bred in Ontario, Canada, raced at Woodbine in Ontario 5 times, and with the Canadian-based rider Kendall Lahari from Uxbridge, Ontario. Purchased from the trainer Robert Tiller that Kendall's mom used to work for. Kendall's saying, "This is the nicest thoroughbred I have worked with. He is very kind, willing, and talented. He has been a pleasure to train. I'm looking forward to our future together and hope he is a future team horse for me." Another chestnut. I know you have a fondness for chestnuts, Ashley.
Now, I'm not saying this just because he's a chestnut, but I really, really love this horse. I've been drooling over him all week. Just a really, really classy guy. Not only is he chestnut and flashy, but he is also just a really big, nicely structured horse. Has great conformation, and just check out that jump. A really, really awesome horse. I'll be very impressed with him now and see where he goes after this. I think this is just the very, very tip of the iceberg with him.
I really enjoyed what one of the judges for eventing it to say, just in terms of how the trainers have cared for their horses and just the stunning looks that they have.
Well, it takes a lot to get them to look like this. A lot of the horses do come out in good condition from the track, but they do not look like sport horses like this generally.
So that's the first jumper round for Kendall Lahari and Remember Gizmo. And Ashley, we were talking on the live stream just about how good these horses look. This year, they instituted an inspection of the horses when they arrived. The care for the horses is something Retired Racehorse Project really emphasizes, and we're definitely seeing the results with the horses that we've seen in the finale.
Absolutely. These horses coming into this arena all look great. I would have a tough time having to judge the best turned out in each category because there's some really phenomenally conditioned horses in all of these disciplines.
So now on to the simulated jump off for Kendall Lahari and Remember Gizmo.
I'm still too quiet, apparently. Yeah. Ooh.
3'3" for a horse that was racing as recently as July of last year, less than 10 months of retraining off the track. How do you decide kind of the pace at which to accelerate a horse in terms of the heights that they'll be jumping?
It's not necessarily something you decide, it's something that the horse decides. There's nothing wrong with the hunter horses that come in here and go around 2 feet. If that's what they're physically and mentally ready for, that's what you do. But I don't think this horse would look half this good if he was going around a 2.6 course. There's horses that are naturally good jumpers, naturally scopy, and naturally confident. And if you give them a little jump, they're just not going to look that good.
This horse likes his job. You can see when he was jumping, ears were forward, and your impressions of how this first pair did over 3'3". They really seemed comfortable over the big heights.
Yes, I was just saying on the live stream that I don't think he would look this good if you had the smaller jumps. Some horses do very, very well when you put those jumps up, and they just don't show as well with the smaller jumps. So this is one of those horses that definitely belongs in the 3-3s in this competition.
Round of applause for Remember Gizmo and Kendall Lahari, who has the Canadian flag engraved on the show coat, and we will see several Canadian riders at the TCA Thoroughbred Makeover finale over the course of the day. And now the heights will be adjusted to 2'6". The next horse to go inside the TCA Covered Arena in stadium jumping, presented by XL Equine, is 10-Pin Sugar. And 10-Pin Sugar is a 6-year-old bay mare who sold for just $1,900 as a yearling in Louisiana, made $8,000 in a 19-race career racing in Louisiana and Texas. Ridden by Katherine Dyckman from Wimberley, Texas. The horse is owned by Sarah Sheets. And actually, we're going to see this horse twice in the finale. We'll see the horse back in Show Hunters. So they had the lead coming into stadium jumping finals, and they're trying to space their rides out as much as possible, so they're going here.
When this horse came in, I was a little bit surprised to hear that it was in the finale and in both hunters and jumpers. A little bit of an unassuming mare, bay, not super huge, not super fancy, just warming up, but check out those knees. This is a first jump this horse took. I said, okay, that's why he's in the finals. A really, really nice jumper.
But the difference, they have to jump in show hunters as well, but they really have to demonstrate a different skill set.
Yes, definitely. You can see this horse, even in the jumpers, is carrying a really nice rhythm, so I could see how she'd get around hunters as well. But really what it comes down to is how well do you jump? How well do you ride through everything? So she got a little tight in there and had a rail a little bit on her forehand coming into that last jump always. But really impressed. I was not expecting that.
So finishing their jumper round, 10-Pin Sugar and Katherine Dyckman. And now they'll have their simulated jump-off round. Katherine competed on the equestrian team at Kansas State University and is an equestrian coach at Texas State University, has competed up to the Grand Prix level in jumpers, and wants to give big thanks to 3 kids, Lauren, Harrison, and Callan, and whom she calls a wonderful man in Tyler. Ashley, your impressions of 10-Pin Sugar as they get set for their jump-off round?
Well, I hadn't had the opportunity to see this horse jump before coming into this arena, and was very impressed seeing them take these jumps. A really, really nice, snappy jumper. Also carries a really good rhythm, so I can see why they'll be in the Hunters finale as well.
So we've seen a rider from Ontario, Canada, and from Texas so far in the stadium jumping finale.
I really don't have a lot to say now, except I'm just really enjoying watching this horse go around. I'm just staring at the knees the whole time it goes.
Yeah, they can have that effect, just taking your breath away.
I am slightly biased. I am not a huge bay mare fan, but this one is winning me over.
Well, that's what this is about, changing people's impressions of thoroughbreds, of all kinds of different types of horses. And so they do jumps 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8, coming to the second to last here. Snap.
And that last jump again, number 8. Much better this time. Good job.
Well, if you like what you saw from Katherine Dyckman and 10-Pin Sugar, you'll be seeing this pair again in the Show Hunter finals coming up next. They'll get
a little bit of a breather before they have to come back into the arena for the next discipline. Next into the arena, we'll have rider number 133, Anna Williams, an amateur rider from Wichita, Kansas, riding a horse with a great name for a jumper, Feeling Courageous. Now, this horse was bred in Kentucky by Emily Wygod and had trained nearby in Keeneland in April of last year. Also trained at the Ashwood Training Center and never raced, one of 28 entries in the Thoroughbred Makeover who didn't make it to the track, but starting to excel in a new career, a young 4-year-old bay. What do you think of this course, Ashley?
I think it's a very fair course. It's a challenge when you're having to use it for both jumper or all jumpers, eventing, and hunters. There's a good amount of room to work with, so it's nice and open. There's not too many tight turns with any blind jumps coming up. So for these greenies, it's pretty fair to give them a pretty good setup, but they still have to maneuver both directions, make some changes, and show that they are proficient in what you need to be a jumper.
So after the combination at 4A and B, there's good room to maneuver and kind of making a figure 8 back to the final 2 jumps. The TCA jump at 7 coming up next. Feeling Courageous, feeling that way with Anna Williams from Wichita, Kansas. Your impressions, Ashley?
I think this is a perfect horse for this competition. A really nice horse, shows tons of potential. But young, and you can see there's still a few things for this pair to really figure out, but that's not what this competition is about. It's about showing the potential, and this horse has a ton of potential.
So from one Kansas rider to another, now we have Rhiannon Rasmussen from Burden, Kansas, riding the Lynn Sullivan-owned 4-year-old bay, Jersey Justice, bred in Indiana, and raced with success in Indiana, a stakes winner in the Hillsdale Stakes at Indiana Grand, and was crowned the Indiana-bred 2-year-old Colt of the Year in 2017. They're wasting no time.
Yeah, they've got a nice forward rhythm going. And Jersey Justice really is unfazed in this environment. Nothing I really like to see for these potential horses is how they handled this. There's a lot for them.
A young 4-year-old who will head back to work with the Thoroughbred Athletes Organization as their resident ambassador after the makeover. So here we go with Jersey Justice and Rhiannon Rasmussen coming into the ring. So we had the two Kansas riders. We had just seen Kendall, we had just seen, now we're looking at Rhiannon Rasmussen and Jersey Justice after having just seen Anna Williams and Feeling Courageous. So this is the 2017 2-year-old Indiana-bred Colt of the Year.
And he's feeling
horse
his oats
owned
today.
by the equine nonprofit Thoroughbred Athletes Incorporated, located in Guthrie, Oklahoma.
He looks like he'd be a fun horse to ride. He's got a little bit of pep in his step and is very enthusiastic about doing his job.
Have it go with one of the judges.
Ask the judges? I don't believe it.
It's different judges.
Again. Yeah, so I would tell the stewards first and then come back and tell them.
So that concludes their first round in show jumping. They'll have the simulated jumper round coming up next. This horse, who was quite successful in a short 6-race career from 2 years old in 2017 to 3 years old last year, 6 races, 4 wins, and earned $166,000, including a stakes winner in the Hillsdale Stakes and the Indiana Futurity at Indiana Grand, and named the top 2-year-old colt in Indiana. Judges blow the whistle, and now the simulated jump-off round for Ryan Rasmussen and Jersey Justice from Burden, Kansas. This horse owned by Lynn Sullivan.
This horse is a prime example of why I really like thoroughbreds. Competed in jumpers and eventing this week and now is in the finals for jumpers, and looks like he's just come off a week layup and is ready to go and full of energy and really happy to do his job.
So here they come around over the green and white striped jump, matching their show outfit. Now to the TCA jump, Thoroughbred Charities of America, partnering with Retire Racehorse Project as the presenting sponsor for the Thoroughbred Makeover each of the 5 years it's been at the Kentucky Horse Park. Jersey Justice and Ryan Rasmussen get a round of applause, having completed their finale round in stadium jumping. And after Jersey Justice and Ryan Rasmussen, who came in third place heading into the finale, one more horse and rider to go at the 2 feet 6 height. And I'm really enjoying the names of these horses. The next one, quite a grand name, and it will be American Colossus. And this horse is ridden by Gail Shashinsky, an amateur rider from Avondale, Pennsylvania, a Kentucky-bred chestnut gelding, aged 4. So, Ashley, we've had a few horses that are just 4 years old. In fact, more than half of the horses in the competition, either 4 or 5, so quite young. But when do they kind of start to hit their peak? Because this is really only an early step towards what could be bigger things.
There's a very wide range of the peak, especially of the thoroughbred. Generally, they're not going to hit their peak at 4. That doesn't mean they can't have talent and show the potential for it, but it takes them a while to mature. So seeing these 4-year-olds is pretty cool in the final or finale, and we have a handful of them, which is really awesome. It shows the quality of the horse and the potential. They can not hit their prime until they're 10, 12. So there's long careers ahead for these guys.
We're also going to see a 3-year-old later in the finale. And so quite a depth these thoroughbreds are. And here we are with American Colossus and Gail Shinsky from Avondale, Pennsylvania.
When watching a jumper course, some people think that the turns are what's tough for these horses. But if you've noticed, the hardest jump they have is this long straightaway from 7 to 8. Sometimes those long open distances, especially for these slightly green horses, can be more difficult than a bending line or coming off a turn with just a few strides intro to the jump.
So what are the ways that riders have to compensate for that? Because, yeah, it kind of is an area of unknown between 7 and 8.
You need to sit and wait with this long open line here. Some horses, this one's doing very well with it, took that line really nicely, but some horses can tend to kind of lengthen their stride as they go further and further away from that last jump they took.
And you could see Gail kind of setting the horse up at a nice little check on the horse right before 8.
So now the whistle for the simulated jump-off round for Gail Shashinsky from Avondale, Pennsylvania, aboard American Colossus. Quite a difference in terms of the racing success of the previous 2 horses. Previously a stakes winner, and this horse here, 9 starts. Best start was second place finish, never did make it into the winner's circle, and showing good aptitude here, making it to the finals of stadium jumping at the Thoroughbred Makeover, this young 4-year-old chestnut gelding, American Colossus.
For those people that are following on the USCF network feed, because we have so many different disciplines here, so just kind of trying to understand each of the disciplines, the 2 different rounds that the jumpers are doing, what skills is each testing for the makeover here?
First one, you're looking a little bit more for rhythm and quality of jump. The second one, you want to be a bit more forward. It's supposed to simulate the jump off. Again, you're definitely want a clear round still, but if you can bring your pace up a little bit more and get them a little more forward, oftentimes, not necessarily here for these green horses, but you're going to see a shorter course and much tighter turns, and you're going to see people cutting those corners. So this is a simulation of it, not a true jump off. We still want to show the rhythm of the horse, and with these green horses, we don't want them running flat out like you might see in some jump offs.
American Colossus and Gail Shashinsky wrapping up their jumper round. And they came in second place. And we'll see how the scores hold up. In 10th place, rider number 261, Ashley Glorioso and Lucky to Run. In 9th place, rider number 304, Franny Galvin Hines and Neymar. 8th place, rider number 255, Melanie Vogt and Long Legacy. In 7th, rider number 27, Charlotte Brown and Austria. 6th place, number 155, Susan Deal and Faraha. In 5th place, rider number 216, Rhiannon Rasmussen and Jersey Justice. In 4th place, number 355, Kendall Lahari and Remember Gizmo. 3rd place went to rider number 133, Anna Williams and Feeling Courageous. In 2nd place, rider number 7, Gail Shashinsky and American Colossus. And the 2019 Thoroughbred Makeover Champion in show jumping, sponsored by XL Equine. Rider number 419, Katherine Dyckman and 10-Pin Sugar. And enjoying the victory lap for the ribbon winners. Keep in mind which of the discipline winners you like the best, because you will be the ones to crown out of the discipline winners the 2019 TCA Thoroughbred Makeover Champion. The winner, 10-Pin Sugar and Katherine Dyckman, will be back in the next discipline, so it'll be a quick turnaround as we get set for the show hunters.